Today, we're going to unpack a really ambitious blueprint for the future of Bangladesh. It's this huge vision that connects some very detailed financial policy with a grand philosophy for national rejuvenation. And believe it or not, it all starts with a single, very specific number. So what's the deal with this number, 4,578? It's not a date, it's not some random economic statistic. No, in this proposal, this number represents an entire workforce, a brand new army of people on the front line of a plan to fundamentally reshape Bangladesh's social finance system. See, that number, 4,578, that is the exact number of new government collectors that are being proposed to lead this revolutionary mosque-based zakat management system. The whole thing is designed to completely overhaul how this pillar of Islamic finance is managed in the country. Now, for anyone who might not be familiar, zakat is an obligatory charitable contribution for eligible Muslims, and it's one of the pillars of Islam. The big vision here is to centralize and formalize how it's collected, creating a transparent, nationwide system that has the local mosque right at its heart. Okay, so that's the big idea, but how would this all work in the real world? Let's get into the mechanics of it. The whole system really stands on four key pillars. First, a central Zakat Board with standardized training for Imams, so they know exactly how to calculate and distribute the funds. Next, every single mosque would get a dedicated Zakat Corner, basically a help desk for management. Then you have our 4,578 collectors, one for every single union in the country, all working inside a monitored system. And finally, the whole thing would be overseen by the Ministry of Social Welfare, making it an official national effort. Now, here's a really clever innovation in the plan, especially for businesses. It's called Zakat at Source. The idea is to use audited software, the kind companies already use, to automatically calculate their zakat liability. Then it's automatically deducted and sent to the national fund. It creates this seamless, totally traceable flow of money. And here, you can see the official branding for the initiative. You can really see the symbolism they're going for. You've got the mosque representing the community, that rising graph for economic growth, and the open book, which signifies knowledge and transparency. It's pretty much a visual summary of the whole philosophy. But you might be thinking, how do you justify such a huge government-led reform of what is, at its core, a religious duty? Well, the proposal makes sure to ground its authority firmly in Islamic principles. So the plan's legitimacy, it argues, comes directly from the Qur'an and authentic Hadith. Those are the verified sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. The whole effort is framed as a mission of social justice, to protect the poor. And the distribution of the money, it's not just random. It has to strictly follow the 8 specific categories of recipients laid out in Surah At-Tawbah, a key chapter of the Qur'an. But here's the real twist. This super detailed financial system we've been talking about, it isn't the whole story. In fact, it's just the first chapter of something much, much bigger. You can think of it as the financial engine, an engine designed to power a massive, all-encompassing vision for a complete national transformation. And that grand vision, it's all laid out in this book, The Architects of Tomorrow by Guru Delawar Hossain. The book presents a philosophy it calls the revolution for the rejuvenation of Bangladesh, and its goal is to create what it calls an enlightened civilization. So let's zoom out. What exactly is this grand vision? What kind of future is this new zakat system supposed to help build? The book's preface really sets the stage right away. It says this is not just a critique of how things are now, but a thoughtfully crafted manifesto and a strategic roadmap. The ultimate goal is to build a state of, and I'm quoting here, profound trust and prosperity. The argument is that Bangladesh is really at a crossroads, facing these huge, deep-rooted issues like poverty and corruption. This manifesto is basically presented as the key to finally overcoming those challenges and unlocking the nation's true potential. And they are not shy about the scale of the ambition here. The objective is stated loud and clear: to elevate Bangladesh to a global position on par with nations that are famous for their stability, their innovation, and their progress. We're talking countries like Japan, Finland, and Singapore. So, when you boil it all down, it's a call for unity. It's an appeal for 180 million people to get on board with a single vision. The argument in the book is simple. Real progress is only possible when everybody is moving together with one spirit on one path toward one single purpose. So, what we have here is this comprehensive and incredibly ambitious vision. It connects a very specific financial reform directly to a grand national philosophy. It's a roadmap that literally begins with 4,578 zakat collectors and ends with the vision of a brand new enlightened civilization. Which leaves us with a big question, right? Is this a practical blueprint for prosperity, or is it a revolution that only exists on paper?